Hello students, welcome to the channel. In an earlier video, we solved the Math No Calculator section of the May 2017 US SAT. In this video, we solved the calculator section. Question 1. Miss Anderson currently has 550 contacts on an online professional networking site. Her goal is to have at least 1000 contacts. If she wants to meet this goal in 25 weeks, what is the minimum number of contacts per week on average she should add? Okay, so currently she has 550 and she wants to reach at least 1000, right? So what's the difference? She needs to make up at least 450, right? So let's say that she adds X contacts per week, right? So in 25 weeks, she would add 25X and that should be greater than equal to 450. So X should be greater than equal to 450 by 25. So 25 into 1 and 25 into 8, 200. So she would reach her goal after 18 weeks. So option A. At her summer job, Paula earns the same amount of money for each hour she works. If she earns $240 for working 20 hours, how much does she earn for 5 hours? So per hour, she earns 240 by 20, which is 12. So for 5 hours, she'll earn 12 into 5, 60. If 3x is 24, what is the value of 2x minus 3? So if 3x is 24, then x is 8. So 2x minus 3 is 8 into 2, 16 minus 3, which is 30. Yuna sold boxes of cookies and bags of candy. The ratio of the number of boxes of cookies she sold to the number of bags of candy was 2 to 1. If Yuna sold 8 boxes of cookies, how many bags of candy did she sell? Okay, so cookies to candy is 2 to 1. So 8 boxes of cookies to candy is 2 to 1. So 2 into 4, 8. So 4 bags of candy. For each repair job, an elevator technician charges R dollars per hour for each hour worked plus a flat fee of K dollars. If the technician charges $210 for a 2-hour job, which of the following represents the relationship between R and K? Okay, so R dollars per hour. So for 2 hours, it will be 2 hour plus the flat fee of K. That total is 210. So 210 is K plus 2R, option A. A box in the shape of a right rectangular prism has a volume of 60 cubic inches. If the dimensions are 3 by 5 by h, what is the value of h? So volume is 3 into 5 into h, and that is 60. So 5 into 3, 15 into 4, 60. So h is 4. A 15-foot wire and a 5-foot wire were each cut completely into 10-inch pieces. How many more 10-inch pieces resulted from the 15-foot wire than from the 5-foot wire? Okay, so 15-foot wire is 15 into 12 inches. So if I cut it into 10-inch pieces, then I get how many? 5 2s are 10, 5 3s are 15, 2 6 are 12. So I get 18 pieces from the 15-foot one. And from the 5-foot one, I would get 5 into 2, 10, 2 into 6. So how many more? 18 minus 6, which is 12. Parabola D in the xy plane has equation this, which equation shows the x-intercepts of the parabola as constant or coefficients. Okay, so this is going to look like this, right? Because this has the y square term. So the x-intercept here would be when y is 0. So that would be x is equal to 11, right? So the equation that shows 11 as a constant is option A, right? So that is the one which shows the x-intercept. The sum of two different numbers, x and y, is 70, and the difference when the smaller number is subtracted from the larger number is 30. What is the value of x and y? So x plus y is 70 and x minus y is 30. So 2x is 100, so x is 50 and y is 20. So what is the product? 1000. A ball was dropped from a height of 1.5 meters and hit the ground several times. The graph above represents the height of the ball t seconds after it was dropped. Of the following, which best approximates the maximum height of the ball between the second and third time it hit the ground? Maximum height between the second and third time. So this is the first time, this is the second, and this is the third time. So maximum height between those two is 0.4. So B. Which of the following is an equation of the circle in the xy plane that has a center 0, 0 and radius 4? So x minus h whole squared plus y minus k whole squared is r squared. This is the equation of a circle where the center is h comma k and the radius is r. So center is 0, 0 and the radius is 4. So we would have x square plus y square is 16. So C. Which of the following expressions is equivalent to this? 16 x to the power 9 y to the power 3 whole to the power half. So that's 16 to the power half x to the power 9 by 2 and y to the power 3 by 2. And 16 to the power half is square root of 16, which is 4. So 4x to the power 9 by 2 and y to the power 3 by 2. So B. At the beginning of a laboratory experiment, Miguel had 10 milliliters of a solution in a flask. The first step of the experiment consisted of Miguel pouring X milliliters into a beaker and Y milliliters into a different beaker. There remained at least 4 milliliters of the solution in the flask after the first step. Which of the following inequalities can be used to correctly represent? Okay, so we started with 10 and we poured X into the first and Y into the second. So this is what we are left with. And this is at least 4 in the flask, right? After the transfers have been made. So 10 minus X minus Y should be greater than equal to 4. So that's option A. To determine if cooking with olive oil reduces the risk of heartburn for men, researchers interviewed a random sample of 5,500 men who had no history of heartburn. Study participants were identified as either regular or occasional olive oil users. 5 years later, researchers interviewed the men again. They found that the proportion of men who experienced frequent heartburn was significantly lower for men identified as regular olive oil users. Which of the following is the most appropriate conclusion? Okay. Olive oil use causes a reduction in the risk of heartburn for men and women. Okay, so we can't speak about women because the study only included men. Olive oil use causes a reduction in the risk of heartburn for men, but not necessarily for women. So I'm not sure of this word causes, right? Because for establishing causation, I would have to make sure that all other factors were the same, right? So what if the participants who consumed olive oil were also the ones who exercised more, right? So it's possible that the reduction in heartburn was due to exercise, not olive oil, right? So if I want to establish causation, I need to make sure that every other factor is controlled. So I don't like B. There is an association between olive oil use and the risk of heartburn for men and women, but it is not necessarily a cause and effect relationship. Yeah, so this is a good answer, but I don't want to include women, so I'm going to eliminate this. There is an association between olive oil use and risk of heartburn for men, but it is not necessarily a cause-effect relationship, and it may not exist for women. Yeah, so this is the best answer, D. Okay, a wildlife biologist uses the formula above to estimate the height in centimeters of an elephant from its foot to its shoulder based on the circumference of the elephant's footprint. If the wildlife biologist finds a circular elephant footprint that has a diameter of 30 centimeters, while on a zoological study, which of the following is closest to the estimate of the elephant's height? Okay, so h is 3c, which is 3 times 2 pi r, and the diameter is 30, so 2r is 30, so 3 times pi into 30, so which is 90 pi, right? And 90 into 3.14, the closest would be 282.6. The circumference of a mother's elephant's circular footprint is 4 times the circumference of a baby elephant. What is the ratio of the height of the mother to the height of the baby? So h is proportional to c, right? H is 3c. So if the ratio of the circumference is 4 to 1, the ratio of the height would also be 4 to 1, right? If x to the power 24 whole to the power a is x square whole to the power 4, what is the value of a? Okay, so x to the power a whole to the power b is x to the power ab. So x to the power 24a should be x to the power 8. So if we equate the exponents, 24a is 8. So a is 1 by 3. Which value is a y-coordinate of a solution to the system of equations above? Okay, so let's just add them. X squared plus x is 12. So x squared plus x minus 12 is 0. So x squared plus 4x minus 3x minus 12 is 0. So x plus 4 into x minus 3 is 0. So x is negative 4 or 3. Okay. And from this equation, we get y is x minus 5. So y is minus 9 and minus 4 minus 5 and 3 minus 5 minus 2. So the points of intersection are minus 4 minus 9 and 3 negative 2. So the y coordinate is negative 2. Yeah. An airplane flies directly from a city in Pennsylvania to a city in Ecuador. The equation above estimates the distance in miles from the city in Ecuador of the airplane t hours after taking off from the city in Pennsylvania. Okay, so it is the distance from the city in Ecuador t hours after taking off. Okay. Which of the following is the best interpretation of the number 2565 in this context? So if you kind of draw this, it would be a falling line because it has a negative slope where this is the distance and this is the time, right? And this is the y-intercept. So this is 0,2565. So this is going to be the starting distance from Ecuador to Pennsylvania, right? Because as you go forward, the distance reduces. So this is the distance in miles the airplane travels between the two cities, the total distance. According to the equation, approximately how many hours will it take the airplane to travel between the two cities? Right. So this is t is in hours, right? So for traveling between the two cities, the distance between the two should come to 0. So 0 is 2565 minus 500t. 2565 minus 500t. So 500t is 2565. So t is 2565 by 500, which is 25.65 by 5. 5 5s are 25, 5 1s are, and 3. 5.13, so 5.1. Okay, the scatter plot above shows the number of surveys sent to and returned from people in 17 different neighborhoods. A line of best fit for the data is shown for the neighborhood that had surveys sent to 800 people. Which of the following is closest to the positive difference between the actual number of surveys returned and the number predicted by the line of best fit? Okay, so 800, so actual was 600 and number predicted by the line of best fit is about, I don't know, it's about 480, I would say. So the difference is 120. 120. Okay, that's not an answer. So let's see. Can I? Yeah, so it'll be closest to 120. So let's say if this is 450 maybe. Yeah, so then it would be 150. So closest is option A. Okay. A company makes and sells only two products, P and Q, and makes all products at factories W and Z. The table above shows the number of units of each product made at each factory during a year. The function f above represents the projected annual revenue from sales of product P as a function of price per unit, where A and K are constants. Okay. Based on the graph of the function, which of the following is a factor of fx? Okay, so the x-intercepts are 0 and 500. So x and x minus 500 would be factors of this function. So D, yeah. Which of the following is closest to the percent of the total number of units of products P and Q combined that are made at factory Z annually? Percent of the total number of units made at factory Z. Okay. So P and Q combined is 4 and 2, 6, 3 and 2, 5. And at W, it's 4 and 1, 5, 2 and 1, 3. So at factory Z, it would be 56 by 56 plus 35 into 100. So let's just plug that in. What is 56 plus 35? So 91. So 56 by 91 into 100. So that is 5600 divided by 91. So that's 61.5%. So 62. For 5 consecutive even integers, the sum of the first and third integer is 20 less than 3 times the fourth integer. What is the fifth integer? Okay, so for consecutive even integers, so let me take x minus 4, x minus 2, x plus 2, and x plus 4, right? So these are 5 consecutive. Sum of the first and third, so that will be 2x minus 4, is 20 less than 3 times the fourth, which is 3 times x plus 2, and 20 less than that. Okay. So 2x minus 4 is 3x plus 6 minus 20. So x is 20 minus 6 minus 4. So x is 10, right? So what is the fifth integer? X plus 4. So 10 plus 4, 14. A polling agency wanted to test whether a ballot measure would pass with greater than 50% yes votes. The agency sampled 1,000 registered voters selected at random, and 50.6% of the voters favored the ballot measure. The margin of error with this poll was plus minus 3%. Okay, so margin of error was plus minus 3%. So it can be 50.6 from minus 3 to plus 3. So that's from 47.6 to 53.6. Which of the following statements must be true? The percentage of voters who will vote yes is 50.6. No, that you cannot say will vote because it's a probability, and anyway there is a margin of error. The ballot measure will pass with more yes votes than no votes, but the percentage of votes it will receive cannot be predicted. No, we can't say that it will pass with more yes votes and than no votes, because the margin of error also includes less than 50%. The ballot measure will pass with at least 53.6% of the vote. No, absolutely not. At least makes it sound that it can go to the right of this, which is not what it is saying. The poll's results do not provide sufficient evidence to conclude that the ballot measure will pass. Yeah, that's correct, because it's going from below 50 to plus 50, so we can't say if it will pass. The table above shows the results of an experiment involving the effects of two treatments, A and B, on plants. Based on the results, what fraction of the plants that thrived received treatment A? Okay, so fraction of plants that thrived is 180, and of those 120 received treatment A, so that's 2 by 3. A sample of seawater is 3.5% salt by mass and contains 1000 grams of salt. Which one of the following is the mass of the sample of seawater? Okay, so 3.5% of X is 1000, right? Because 3.5% is salt. So where X is the mass of the sample of seawater. So X is 1000 into 100 divided by 3.5. So let's plug that in. 1000 into 100 divided by 3.5. So 28,571, which is 28,600. This is the mass of the sample. The graph of the function f is shown in the xy plane above, and selected values for the function g are shown in the table. For which of the following values of x is gx greater than fx? Okay, so 0, g of 0 is 2, g of 0 is 2, and f of 0 also looks 2, right? Yeah, so I don't think it's this. G of 1 is 0. Okay, so g of 1 is 0. So g of 1 is less than f of 1, so it's not this. G of 2 is negative 1. G of 2 is negative 1, and this is positive. So yeah, so it's not this. And g of 3 is 1, and f of 3 is 0. So g of 3 is greater than f of 3, so D. An archaeologist estimates that as a result of erosion, the height of the Great Pyramid of Giza has been decreasing at a constant rate since it was built. The function above is used by the archaeologist to model the height of the pyramid T years after it was built. According to the function, which of the following statements is true? Okay, so the height has been reducing at a constant rate. Every 1750 years, the height of the pyramid decreases by 10 years. Okay, so the slope from this equation is -1 over 175. So which means that the numerator is the y value and the denominator is the x value. So every 175 years, the height reduces by 1 foot, right? That's what the slope is telling me. So every 1750 years, the height reduces by 10 feet. Yeah, so that is correct. Every 175 years, the height decreases by 1 foot, not 0.1. So B is wrong. Every 100 years, the height of the pyramid decreases by, no, this is not representing the slope correctly. Every year, the height of the pyramid, no, so this is also wrong. Option A. A biologist grows a culture of bacteria as part of an experiment. At the start of the experiment, there are 75 bacteria in the culture. The biologist observed that the population doubles every 18 minutes. Which of the following equations best models the number of bacteria T hours after the start of the experiment? Okay. So what is this thing? Exponential function. A is P times growth factor to the power T by K. So the initial value is 75. The growth factor is 2 because it doubles every 18 minutes, right? So K is 18 minutes. But we need to talk about hours. So we'll have to convert this 18 by 60 hours, right? So that will be 6 into 3 and 6 So 3 by 10 hours. Okay. So the number of bacteria N would be 75 times 2 to the power T by 3 by 10, which is 75 times 2 to the power 10T by 3. 75 times 2 to the power 10T by 3. So C. Okay. The solid lines in the figure above represent the route of a football player, and the dashed line represents the distance from his starting point to the point at which the player was stopped. What is the value of X? Okay, so this is a right triangle, and 5, 12, and 13 is a Pythagorean triplet. So X would be 5. Last year, Gary's tomato plants produced 24 kilograms of tomatoes. This year, Gary increased the number of tomato plants by 25%. If his plants produce tomatoes at the same rate this year as last year, how many kilograms will he produce this year? Okay, so 25% increase. So 24 into 1.25. So that's 24 plus 1/4 of 24. So 24 plus 6, so 30. Okay, so this is the median age of population of selected countries. What is the range of the median age of the population? Okay, so highest minus lowest. So highest is this and lowest is this. So range would be 45.3 minus 17.9. So 9 and 4, 7, 2, right? Yeah, so 27.4 is the range. In the system of equations above, A is a constant such that A lies between 0 and 1 by 3. If xy is a solution to the system, what is one possible value of y? Okay, so from the first equation, x is 2a. So if I put that in the second, 2a plus y is 5a. So y is 3a. So a lies between 0 and 1 by 3. So 3a will lie between 0 and 1. So y can be any value between 0 and 1. So let's say 0.5. If the expression above is equivalent to an expression of the form x plus a, where x is not -6, what is the value of a? Okay, so x squared plus 17x plus 66 divided by x plus 6. So I can write this as x squared plus 11x plus 6x plus 66 divided by x plus 6. So that's x plus 11 into x plus 6 divided by x plus 6. So this cancels, so we get x plus 11. So a is 11. Okay, a line is shown in the xy plane above. A second line not shown is parallel to the lines shown and passes through the points 1, 1 and 3, C, where C is a constant. What is the value of C? Okay, so if the lines are parallel, they'll have the same slope. So let's first find the slope of this. So 0, -5, and this is 4, -2. So slope here is -2 plus 5 by 4, which is 3 by 4, right? So this line will also have a slope of 3 by 4. So C minus 1 by 3 minus 1, 2 is 3 by 4. So C is 3 by 2 plus 1, so 5 by 2. So the value of C is 5 by 2. The scatter plot above shows the average fuel economy for a certain class of car driven at 12 different speeds. The graph of quadratic model is also shown. Okay, so fuel economy versus speed. For what fraction of the 12 speeds does the model overestimate the average fuel economy? So the model overestimates would mean that the model gives a value which is greater than the actual value, right? So that means that the model is above the actual value. So I'll count the points which are below the model, right? So 1, 2, and 3. So there are 3 points below the model. So what fraction? 3 by 12. So that's 1 by 4. The quadratic model predicts the average fuel economy to be 26 miles per gallon for how many different speeds? 26 miles per gallon. Okay, so that is this one. So for how many different speeds it does that? 1 and 2. So for 2 speeds. Okay, so that was the calculator section. Let's grade it. Question 1. Yeah, I have the answer key here. A, C, D, double A, C, D, A. Sixth, B, C, A, C, B, B, C, A, C, B. 11, C, B, A, double D, C, B, A, D, D. 16, C, B, C, C, D, C, B, C, C, D. 21, A, D, C, B, D, A, D, C, B, D. 26, D, A, D, A, C, D, A, D, A, C. Okay. Griddance 31, 5, 30, 27.4, 5, 30, 27.4, Y between 0 and 1, yeah, so 0.5, 35, 11, 2.5, 1 by 4, 11, 2.5, 1 by 4, and 2. Okay, so we got all correct. Hope this exercise helped. If it did, hit like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in a new video soon. Take care. Bye-bye.